But it's a book. There's a difference between an idea, which is flexible, changing, move between. An idea can be very old, like democracy. An idea. A book is not changing. It's flat. It's being interpreted again and again and again the same way because it has the same structure.
Let's understand one thing. If a book is from God, and God gives you the guidance in that book, would you follow His guidance, or would you follow man or woman and their deficiency to give you the guidance of life? Which one would you follow?
I would follow goodness. I would not follow a book. No, never.
If God gives you the guidance, would you follow His guidance, or would you follow the guidance of people who themselves are not knowledgeable? They're only knowledgeable, depends on the time and place. 500 years ago, we thought the earth was flat, most of us, right?
No, never happened.
Oh, we always thought the earth was round.
Every scholar, anyway.
Every scholar believed the earth was circular and round.
Yeah.
Even today, there are people who believe the earth is flat.
Yes. It's kind of a new phenomenon. It started in the 19th century as an anti-response to religion, while there were scholars who wanted to say, those religious, they've always been the image of science, and they invented a belief that the world was flat, that religious people supposedly had, but it's an invention of the 19th century. If you look at what Socrates wrote, or I don't know, any important scholar in any time,
Did they get things wrong?
They all talked about
What about Earth? When you have Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, Hippocrates, Galen, different kind of philosophers and practitioners, did they get everything right?
No,
they got some things wrong, right?
They didn't try to get things right. Socrates was
That's not the question, though.
Socrates was not about answers, it was about questions.
Good. So when they did discuss about things of how to conduct your life affairs, about the natural phenomena, why things happen, obviously they didn't get everything right. They got some things wrong. Yeah? Good. So if they get some things wrong, we are also in a position today that we're getting many things wrong, and we are learning. My position statement is this: the one who is all knowledgeable God, if the God gives you guidance to follow for your life, would you follow that, or would you follow guidance from people who gets it wrong?
But the guidance is from a book, which is a man's interpretation of God's law.
Are you suggesting?
I know, but someone had to write it down, didn't they? Someone had to write it down in the beginning, so it's an interpretation, isn't it?
If God communicates, are you saying He's a failure in communication?
No, but each man has his own idea about everyone interprets things differently.
There's a limit to how much
an interpretation.
There's a limit to how much you can reinterpret something. For example, if God says, okay, let me give you an example. Book comes from God. People pick up, it's a sign by God, let me read it and guide it. This is not how it happens. Usually what happens is, in the past, human beings, the best of them, the most perfect of them, are raised by God and given this message so that they can deliver this message to the people. And these messengers and prophets, they explain the book of God. They interpret the book of God in the best interpretation so that people don't go this way or that way. They follow the right interpretation.
Maybe it's an idealized interpretation.
So when, for example, God says about Himself, I am God and there is none else. Worship me alone. Do not ascribe any partners unto me. Are you saying this can be interpreted to mean God is three? Three or four?
No, but it's before this person who was whatever prophet who wrote a book. He had all kind of thoughts in his mind. He had thoughts. He saw children playing, so this is wonderful. And then some thoughts that came to his mind, he said, this is the word of God, and he wrote them down as the word of God. And it was his interpretation from the million of thoughts that he had in his mind in the time of his life. Now I have also thoughts, and some of my thoughts are word of God. When I think of the Buddhist Dharma, it is the blood of the world, the purity of logic that flows in my mind. It has such a beautiful sense that it boggles my mind.
You don't believe that the Quran is beautiful as well?
I've never read the Quran. My trial, I found it kind of boring. It's kind of like a praying, oh God, oh God, oh God.
Oh, you've not read it, but it's boring.
I tried. I started. I didn't continue much. But it's not a storybook. It's a praying book. But I look at Muslim culture, and for me, liberation of oppression is very important. And I see oppression of women, oppression of gay people, oppression of sexuality, and I don't see them as good things for happiness.
Do you know Islam liberated people 1400 years ago, but people enslaved them again? If people enslave themselves again, not following the word of God, it's a problem with people and their culture. So you have to look at the text itself and people who follow the text. The people are imperfect. The text is perfect. So your question, you've sort of now discussed it in openly. I didn't say hypothetically. I said, if God gives you a book, would you follow his book or would you follow people? If you are sure that this book was from God, it's not a question about he had thoughts.
But how can you possibly be sure?
Really? Okay. Can you be sure of anything? Then why are you even asking that? If you cannot be sure of anything, then what's the question of saying how can you be sure? Because this is a real hypocrisy of one's inner heart. If you cannot be sure of anything, it is hypocritical then to ask how can you be sure? Because in your philosophy, you cannot be sure of anything.
Yeah, but
Then the questioning itself is hypocrisy.
But you can, something makes sense. So you're not sure, but you see, our mind is an instrument that makes sense of time, with pattern, and you make sense. And sometimes, when something makes so much sense, it's unbelievable, like Newtonian theory, or evolution, or Buddhist Dharma, or one of those pieces of things that make a lot of sense, then you say, wow, this is a law of nature, this is the word of God, this is how the universe works. But that's because it makes sense, not because it is written on a wall, or in a book, or in whatever.
If God exists, is it difficult for God to communicate to people? What is God?
What is God?
Very good question. The originator of everything.
I would not agree with that. I would say that God is a representative of the relation between all reality. Right? If there's any relation between me and you, me and this tree, country to country,
Does God exist?
huh? God is an idea. I don't use the word God, you use the word God.
Okay,
but
I'm
we
not going to use the
both-
word God. The originator. The originator of the cosmos exists or doesn't exist?
I don't think so. I don't use. For me, God is
It's not
not.
what you use. The reality is, you have the cosmos. There is an originator of this cosmos, or there isn't? Which one?
No.
No means what? There isn't?
No, there isn't an originator.
So the cosmos exists by itself.
I don't know, because the cosmos time is something which is part of the cosmos. So to ask what happened before the cosmos is a question that does not make sense, because outside of it, you need to question like when
you need to-
and how.
You need to really focus on this.
I am.
Can something exist from non-existence? Can existence come from non-existence? Can you
I don't
get?
think anyone knows.
We do know. You do know as well, but it's the matter of not admitting it. Can existence originate from non-existence?
Brother, okay, this guy's keep pushing that. Is it possible to replay? Because he's not aware of what he's doing. Is it okay?
Okay, just go this way. Because I'm very mindful of the lady up there. Because you keep banging her, she's just so quiet about it.
When we talk about existence, we are existent. The reality is in existence. So can existence originate or come from non-existence?
Normally you expect that to no, and that's because that's true, but only in an environment in which time exists. But in an environment that there is no time, time does not exist. There's no such thing. Then this question stops to have meaning. Now, time is part of the cosmos of our world, but outside our world, there is no time.
My question is not linked to time.
No,
It's independent of time.
It's not
Existence
independent.
and the opposite of existence. What is the opposite of existence?
I don't know, non-existence, I imagine?
Non-existence.
Yes.
So if we are existent, is it meaningful that non-existence gave rise to existence?
That implies time. Something did not exist, and then it exists. And then you ask, oh, how did you ask a question about time?
The question is, either existence can originate from non-existence, or it cannot.
But origin...
It's a binary question. It's not.
No,
third
it's a
option anymore.
time-dependent question. You ask originate. It means that something was, and from it originate through time, another thing.
Okay,
and I told you.
Let me frame my question. Has existence been always existence? There was not a moment or a time. There was absolutely non-existence ever in the past. There has always been existence.
There's always been a spark or something. Yeah.
Look, if you want to answer
But
this
I
question,
also think that something can come from nothing. It's like when a fetus grows, it develops from two cells into a human being.
that's something.
Yes, but it was a spark. It was like these things are
When we talk about
on the road.
when we talk about nothing, nothing is the absence of everything. So conceptually,
Yeah.
if we are existent now, there cannot be a time where there was absolutely non-existence. Nothing. There has to be always something in existence. Always, whether you bring time in or not.
No,
there has to be.
It is a timing question.
No,
What you ask
I'm
is
saying there has to be always something.
what you ask is
Because the opposite is
Well, and that something was God.
step by step.
Is that what
Either.
you're saying? Is that-
No, we can go through it rationally. We can go through it rationally and logically and see what's the most,
rational deduction.
what's the best explanation of all this existence. Either this existence, which is this material world, has always been there, or something which is not material, something which we say the originator of this material world always existed. At the end of the day, there has to be always something in existence.
I told you my
Without
answer.
any non-existence.
I told you
There is
my
no other
answer.
option, my friend.
I tell you, your entire language is soaked in time, in before and after, during, these kind of words that imply time. And that is true for
Does
the
time
world
exist?
we know.
Does time
but
exist?
it does not, if physics tell us
Good.
today that time did not exist before the universe,
That's nonsense.
then
Can I tell you why it's
okay,
nonsense?
then it's nonsense.
No, let me tell you why it's
Yes,
nonsense.
time is physical.
I'll tell you why it's nonsense. Just before the Big Bang, okay, either there was absolutely nothing or there was something. If there's only two options.
No, there was no time. There was nothing before.
wait.
There was before. There was no
you
before.
see-
Did not exist before.
You're assuming there was no time. What's your proof for that? What's your evidence?
Okay, let's say. You're
What is the
assuming-
evidence from
We are
physics
assuming.
that there was no time? I will tell you why physics here is getting all wrong.
Yeah.
Bring your best physicists in the world, it doesn't matter. If our universe began with a time, before that, because there was no before according to them, either there was existence or there was non-existence. If there was
No,
existence,
the language changed.
doesn't matter the language change.
No, the language in which you
Concept-wise-
describe things, the concepts change.
listen.
You cannot say before
Okay.
if there was no time. The concepts change. You cannot use the same language that describe an hour, a meal.
My friend, is this universe 16.7 billion years old or older?
I I don't know. Imagine that's what they say.
If it's 16.7 billion years old, that means 17. This is according to physics. That means 18 billion years ago. 18 billion. I can put a number. 18 billion years ago, there was nothing. If there was nothing, there would be nothing, because from nothing comes nothing. But we are something now. There cannot be nothing. That's one refutation. Secondly, if 18 billion years ago there was no time, and then time existed later on, so the time came from what?
Nobody knows.
It's not about nobody knows. It's a question about either it comes from something or it comes from nothing. It comes from existence or it comes from no existence. I would say time has always been eternal.
No, because time is a human construct. Time is a measurement that we use.
Good. If God always exists, was time in existence? Always.
No, because God isn't human.
It's not about human. Time is not linked with human.
Yeah, it is.
If there was
time is a human measurement.
So if there was no human in our universe,
Animals don't measure time.
if there was no human in our universe, would there still be time?
No. Things wouldn't be measured in the same way. Like we divide our time up, obviously. Like we have a measurement. We need that in order to
measure
construct
between
our
two
lives
things.
in this world that we live in.
There will still be time. If there were no human beings, there will still be time.
The sun still revolves.
So it would still be 4 o'clock in the afternoon if there were no
Whether you
human
call
beings
4
on the
o'clock to
planet.
6 o'clock, there will still be time. Whether you measure it or not, there will still be time. Time is just a measurement, right? Isn't it? It's just a measurement of what?
Yeah, but it's a human measurement. There's no one to measure it if there's no humans here.
Look, if I don't exist, does that tree exist? It exists independent of me. Time can exist, the world can exist independent of me and my measurement and my watch. So that's
Then
why
we're
I'm
going
saying.
into the thing of if there are humans, like, do things exist altogether? It's that thing of, like, if there's a tree that falls in a wood and no one sees it, does it happen? Do you see what I mean? It's like, is it...
It does happen. It does happen.
Does it, though?
Yes. It does, I don't
Like,
observe
for
it.
anyone, it doesn't, it's not
Look,
theirs. It's not
Just
something
because,
that's been registered in
just
someone's
because
mind.
I haven't measured something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like, if I don't exist, it doesn't mean the tree doesn't exist, the world doesn't exist, you don't exist. No, the world can exist independent of me measuring it. So the fact of the matter is, the world exists. If the world exists, something has to be always in existence, whether you like time or not, whether you bring time or not. There has to be always in existence. Because the other extreme is there was absolutely nothing from which existence comes into reality. But that's impossible. From nothing can come nothing. Why? Because from nothing is the absence of everything. Nothing is the absence of everything. Absence of, conceptually, absence of time, absence of space, absence of matter, absence of quanta, quarks, hadrons, leptons, gluons, everything. That's what I mean by absolute nothingness. From absolute nothingness, you cannot get something like matter, or energy, or quarks, or time.
So does that mean that technically 18 billion years, there isn't an 18 billion years? If you're saying that the world has been around for, you say 16.7 billion
According to
years.
physicists, if they say the world began, but actually, if you look at the models of our universe, Big Bang isn't the beginning of our universe. They say Big Bang, before that was that. There was this tiny, concentrated, condensed singularity, but that was always there. It wasn't nothing, it was something there in singularity. But now we have other models, where this was a result of a big crunch that became big, expanded. So you have a crunch, expansion, crunch, oscillating models of universe, or multi-universe, multiverses. Our universe is like a bubble of other universes. So there's so many different models. But ultimately, whatever models you look at it, there has to be something always. What makes sense is the originator of everything, the one who is eternal, the one who is independent and absolute, exists eternally, rather than giving matter that attribute. Yeah?
But why does that have to be like a conscious presence? I don't really understand. Why does that?
So if you have a thing that exists eternally always, that brought about things which shows design, intelligence, harmony, complexity, then you would say, okay, did that design proceed from that thing willingly, consciously or not? You would say this looks like a conscious, willing design put by a conscious agent. This universe shows manifestation of a conscious entity that has brought this universe into its current form. If there was no conscious entity, let me give you an example, right? Just to show you, illustrate to you about what I mean by consciousness and will. Imagine I have a kitchen somewhere in the cosmos. In this kitchen, you have a freezer. Inside it, there's milk, and you have a cooker, and there is a lighter to light the fire. You have the kettle, you have the sugar, and you have the tea, and you have the cups. Yeah, everything is there to make a cup of tea with how many sugars do you want? Two. Right. If there was no conscious agent, would a cup of tea of 2 sugar be ever made? Ever? You have everything that you need. Eternally there in the cosmos. No one consciously willing to make a tea, to open the freezer, get the milk, light the fire, put the kettle on, turn the tap, the water comes in, boils it, transfer it to your cup, put your sugar, milk, tea, whatever, and then you have this. Without a conscious agent, this process would not happen. Or do you believe everything is possible? Some people say, with time everything's possible. Look at it. You need conscious agents to do these things. In everyday life, that's what you believe in. But when it comes to God, when it comes to your creator, my creator, the reality, the one who created life and death, we somehow don't want to think, and we say, let's not go into this.
I don't get it. We know that through a process of evolution, super complex designs can emerge that have all the appearance of something that was brilliantly designed, but they are actually created by a very long sequence of...
Have you observed it? This is just a belief. It's a blind faith.
Oh, it's not a belief.
There are sciences. Science is rests upon a rational foundation of what? Experimentation, observation, and making inferences. Now, in your evolutionary belief system, can you observe evolution happening? Like as you said, have you observed it in any lab?
Yes.
In which lab have you observed what you just said?
Through
Come on.